Hello everybody! We've got a new feature to show you. I have images loading on the site now. So I will reload the page and you'll notice a little bit of like a blur effect coming on here. If my internet would work. There it is. Maybe you couldn't even see that. Check it out on the website. Here's the URL. I'll post it if you do want to see what that is. Images are loading. They are editable. You'll notice here there's a source and then there's a small source. So the way that these images load is in 3 steps. The first step is I make a little blank box that is the correct height, and I figure that out based on the aspect ratio. If I know that it's a 4:3 photo and I know that the width of the screen is a certain width, then I know how to calculate the specific height. And so adding that means that as stuff loads, as the image loads, there's not a jump in the content. So if I didn't have any sort of box there, then that would mean that it would go how you live in, this is a new p tag, and there would be no space in between them. And then as the image loads, it would just hop itself in there and it would kick all the other data down, and then that would just cause a little jump of content. Generally, don't love that. I don't think a ton of people love a jump in content as the page is loading. So step 1, load that little box. Step 2 is I load this small source. And the idea being that this is a very small image and it should load very quickly. So you shouldn't really have to wait too long to see something that isn't just the white box, the clear background box. So this particular image is 20 by 15 pixels. Now that is not big. That is probably about that's just a small corner of what the actual image that we're seeing is. So the trick there is to load that image at the specific size that it is. What's going on here? Sorry, my computer is running a little slow. But the idea is that you load that image that's really tiny and then you just expand it out. And so it's going to look a little bit blurry and maybe a little bit pixelated. And then you can add a blur filter on top of that so that it looks not crazy, not wild. So I'll show you what it looks like without the large image. This is what the small image looks like. You can see that it is very blurry. And we can also turn off the blur so that you can see what it looks like. This is the image. It's a little bit pixelated. It doesn't look great, but if you add this blur, that softens a lot of the edges. And then that's the image that you're left with while the actual large image is loading. And then when the large image loads, oh my goodness. Sorry, y'all. This is really going slow. But when you load the actual large image back, which I'm hoping I can do here soon. Okay, we'll just reload the entire page. We'll see what happens. But when that happens, the large image loads, it'll just come up over the blurry image and then we'll fade it in. And so that it looks like it's going from this very blurry tiny image, and then out of that just the sharp image comes in. So it's a cool little blur up technique. I think Medium was the first site that I saw that did it, and that was a few years back. But I think it's great, so that's what we went with here. I'm just going to close the stocks. The other thing that you can do with the images is you can change the aspect ratio. So the original image is a 4:3 aspect ratio, but if I don't like that, if I want the image to be a little bit shorter for the screen, I can do that. So then we have a shorter image. This would be closer to a 2:1. So I can change the aspect ratio, and then if I don't love that the top of the image is the only thing that's showing, I want to move it up a little bit so that you see more of the middle of the image, I can update that. This is a really not intuitive input right now, but what this is doing is it's changing what the negative Y percentage is on the image. So you have like a box here, and then we're scooting the image up so that you see the whichever part of the image that you want to. The controls on this, very gross right now, but it's working. So big step forward. We can just keep improving from there. That's all I got for you. You can see that the image is in here in the side tree view as well. That's not a big surprise, but you can still move it around if you so desire. You can still put it in as a child of something else. That all works as expected. So that's all I have to show for today. Thanks for following along. See you later.